This is Wednesday, the 20th of September, just about noon. We crossed over the Monongahela River into Fayette County, and I'm at the home of Albert Gallatin. Maybe you might remember him as an American historical figure. See you when you get back. An American historical figure who was a Secretary Treasurer of the United States, I think during the time of Madison, and I forget who, maybe it was Jefferson was president. Had a tenure of about 13 years, and this is where he wanted to live. This is where he lived, right here in Pennsylvania. That ridge you see over there, where they're working the tractors in the hayfield, just over that ridge is a cliff that drops down, maybe 400 or 500 feet to the edge of the Monongahela River. Okay, so I'm going to take a walk around here because this is a park. It's a national monument run by the U.S. Park Service, and I was just curious because one day Vivian and I came over here, and before we got into looking for signs of forest people, we were sitting on that bench back there, and Vivian said, "What is that?" and pointed to a teepee of sticks standing right down in there. And I walked down to it and looked it over, and that just come back to mind that there may be some activity in this place. So I'm just going to walk out through here, take a look around. Big beech tree there. When Albert Gallatin lived in that house that I was referring to there, the Monongahela River at that time was considered to be the edge of the western frontier. This was a pretty wild place at that time. Big old pileated woodpecker. There's a final resting place of a big old log. Wow. All that's left is a pile of sawdust. And back to the earth from whence it came. I just came from that way. I'm going to head on out this way. See if I can find an area where I can walk into the trees. Yeah, it's September the 20th. Oh, I'd say about 12:30, 15 till 1 in the afternoon. Must be at least 80 degrees here. Oh, there is a patch of greenbrier right there. And a big tree bend with an X on it just on the other side of it. Now, how do you like that? My GoPro doesn't have a zoom on it either. Let me take a look at this. See if I can get a little bit closer. Maybe you can see it. I'm not going any closer. Get a shot of that maybe with my iPhone. Well, there it is. See if I can zoom it in now a little. Okay. That's a tree bend with an X right smack in the middle of it. Yep. Glad I brought the old trusty iPhone with me. You probably can't tell from here, but I'm right on the edge of like a big cliff. The far hillside you see through the open air beyond the trees here is Greene County on the other side of the river. Looks like a squirrel cracked a hickory nut here. See some mountain laurel growing on the bank there. Rhododendrons. Hot enough today to make me sweat, that's for sure. Probably a half a mile away from Vivian and our vehicle. Look at, check this out here. Let me walk over here for a second. How do you like that? Now, doesn't that just tell you that that was placed there? There it goes. Laid in the forks. They're coming across. They got it placed up there so it won't fall. Whoever did it. And it's laid right in there, just nice and handy. I'm starting to think that there is some forest people activity around here. Keep seeing things like that. Tree bend, leans. Look like it's starting to teepee or something. Then that horizontal that horizontal limb or piece of a tree right there laid between two of them. Well, it goes out this way then, huh? Albert Gallatin's house is out ahead of me, maybe a half a mile, just up on a ridge. I had to walk up through a hayfield, and on the plaque they have up there, they show different trails that they have opened up for people to walk through this area. And the area that I'm making a big circle around, well, it's on my right now, and it was on my right hand side when I way over there, maybe 400 or 500 yards, I came down this way, circled around, came back up. So that whole area there, which gets wider as we go out through here toward the escape, which is parked over there, that's called Sophia's Woods, and it was named after his wife Sophia, and her tomb is out here close, just to the left of the woods, according to what I saw the last time we were out here. I see some breaks starting to occur. You see that little one way over there. I think I might walk over that way because it looks like I might get a nice shot of the water in the river, the Monongahela. That's an Indian name, or Native American. Wonder who stuck this in the ground. Oh wow, you can see the lock wall. They don't use that lock anymore. I believe that's the lock wall I'm thinking about. Down by Point Marion was called Lock 8, maybe. I'm standing right on the edge of a cliff. Down below me is the lower trail that follows along the riverbank on a lower level than this one. But I'm going to stay away from the edge of the cliff right now. Some kind of little fungi growing there. Sure is pretty moss. Soft, smooth. I know I'm standing on a huge rock. Ooh. Drugged the knee the wrong way. Hello there. Just saw a jogger. Look at that. Look at the soft moss. It's pretty neat. Yep. Check that out, would you? Now, I was just standing out there talking so that the GoPro could record me, and a lady jogger came through the woods running down the trail I had been walking on before I stepped away off of it. I said hello, and she ran on out that way. She came right by here, but just like most of us, like most people, I bet you she didn't even see this. Now, that limb there is placed up in that tree with the big side up. Imagine that. Do you think that needed a little bit of help to end up like that? With the big side up. And I'll bet you she just cruised right past here. You know, I think we are all guilty of that. The evidence of these other sentient beings that live in the forest is all about us everywhere. But it's in such a way, it looks so natural. We just miss it totally. Yeah, she just jogged right on out through the path. Look at that big old beech tree that broke. Sometime in the past. Oh, wow. Oh no. Ah, looky there at what's ahead, a bee tree. Well, look at them, they're acting crazy too. I don't know how to get around that one. If I just would run, it would be all right, but no, my knees won't take shocks like that. I'm not running. I'm going to shut this thing off and get around there somehow. Well, I'm on the other side of it now. Oh, look at that. Oh, not far enough though. What I did is I just put my head down and walked real fast. Oh, a big old log laying across the ravine here. I wonder what did that. You know, at one time, I don't know, it was standing straight up between them other trees. something pulled it down there. There's a little one on the ground behind it, bent over. Just don't know. I got a notion that escape is straight that way through the trees if I wanted to make a shortcut. I see, oh, there's something ran across something, a squirrel or something up there on that old end of that old log. Anyway, I've seen so many things that leads me to believe that there's somebody in the woods, a presence out here that is rearranging things around and leaving evidence. I mean, it's so obvious, and I've been surprised. I mean, I think I'm not seeing not 1/5 of it. Look at that. I mean, it is so natural just to walk by all this kind of arranged, constructed, and fashioned the glyphs and shapes and things. It's so easy to walk by it. I'm amazed that I've been able to start picking out as much as I have. But what I've noticed lately is you don't have to go way back into the woods to find it. No, you don't. It is virtually everywhere. And I think the reason that you don't see like teepees and all the other different structures, the kinds of things that you see, the reason you don't see them out in the field is there's nothing out there to build them out of. It doesn't mean that these same supernatural folks or beings, doesn't mean they aren't in the field, cross the field, transverse it, either at a vibration frequency that you can see or invisible. they probably cross the fields as much as they do cross through the woods. And one fella that I'm familiar with, there's a pond out there in the woods. One fella that I'm familiar with called Utah Sasquatch. Rio, he's called. I watched one of his videos that showed that, in fact, there was a structure made in the edge of a field, just like you see right here. Well, I'm going to walk up this way because I know where the vehicle is and where Vivian is. But it was a field just like this. Well, not this big, I don't think. But right in the corner of it, out of the woods, into the grass was a thing that others call shelter. But I don't call it a shelter. I don't know what to call it, because it wouldn't shelter you from anything. It was made out of sticks. Even little 3 pigs proved that. I'll huff and puff and blow your sticks down. I think the area they were placed in had a significance, whether it was relaying information about this dimension or the other one on the other side that they keep bouncing back and forth between. So the location is significant, and the type of construction job they do carries information, telling the being who's going to step through the portal right there with the enabling mechanism that they have within them to energize it right there. And it's got a safe landing demarcation on the other side and on this side, so they can trust traveling that way through dimensions, and they're not going to end up making a big mistake. And the shape and size of it indicates what particular being that thing is for. That's why we got these wee little tiny ones, small ones, and we have the big ones. Now they recognize their own marks. So anyway, Rio showed a video on TV of the back field or backyard of this property out in Utah, that like this, way back there, it had what he called a shelter built out into the field. So they even insist on doing that if they have to carry this stuff. They do carry a lot of stuff. I see a lot of things placed up in trees, leaning up against them, that are different species than the tree they're lying in or across. So I know they didn't fall from that one. They're placed there with the big end up, so I know that they didn't fall, but they were placed upside down. I think the escape is just ahead of me, up slightly to the left. Ain't that something? Well, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to sit down on them leather seats and get me a cup of coffee. But first I'm going to have me a big glass of water, because I brought both. I see Vivian up there. She's sitting in the woods on a bench. She likes this stuff too. Okay, we're coming up on it. We just circumnavigated Sophie's woods. I see you! Oh my. That's the way it took off. I'd say over an hour now. How long have I been going? It was 12:12 when I last looked at it before I started out through there. 1:36. Okay, that's good. Would I like to sit down and have me a glass of water and then a cup of coffee? How did you do? Everything okay? Crows?
Yeah.
One squirrel before I left, but I never did get to see it. Did you get to see it again?
No, I just heard it. Boy, it was walking back there like crazy. There's that crow again. No, that's a blue jay.
Yeah, that's a noisy old blue jay. Did you see that woman come up through here or no?
A woman with a blue top and gray bottoms?
She was
Blue
jogging.
jean bottom? She was going in the field there? Oh, the woman with the black top?
I don't remember. Black, I think.
Oh yeah, she had a tank top on.
She was jogging.
Yeah, she only came up so far and then turned around and went back. You want a drink?
Oh, yes. I am going to sit here for a second.